35 years. Wow, wow, wow. 35 years ago on this day, it was actually Monday. It was actually Martin Luther King Day in 1988, January 18th, 1988, was my first official day of sobriety. And one day at a time for 35 years. It has been crazy, crazy ride. It's been ups and downs, some good days, some bad days, some ugly days, and some other days. But on the other end, I came out, ended up making it to 60 years old. Actually, thought there for a while in some of my younger years that I wasn't even thinking I was going to make it past the age of 21, which was a total amazing thought that, God bless me and just in his grace, I'm able to be here today. So absolute blessing. And what I'd like to do is just for those of you that are independent entrepreneurs, people like that. I'm going to talk a little bit, may go back and forth talking about sobriety and a little bit about the crazy follow-up. But been getting a lot of requests for this follow-up sheets that I use, Google Sheets. If you're challenged with follow-up, if you're using sticky notes, if you're using some kind of write it down in a notepad somewhere, highly recommend you use this follow-up sheet. I use it every day. Matter of fact, last year, it's sort of cool to look back, especially if you track and measure everything, which is very, very important as an entrepreneur, is to track and measure everything you do. I'm going to pause right there, introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Forrest Knight, social media marketing strategist. Absolutely love helping entrepreneurs succeed and make money online. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share if I'm providing value as well. So really appreciate that. So I forgot what I was saying. Oh, following up. One of the things is very, very important. It is follow-up. And one of the things I was looking at in my follow-up from last year, I actually did 199 presentations of some level, either customer or business partner presentations in 2022. And I looked at it like, wow, I actually did a little bit of work there. And I'm challenging you right now to think about, as you're tracking and measuring the stuff that you do, how many people are you reaching out to? How many people are you asking to take a look at your business? How many people are you reaching out to saying, hey, would you like to join my team? How many customer people are you looking out for? Hey, would you like to look at my product catalog, see if there's something in there that might be a fit for you and your family, right? How many times are you asking that? If you're not doing that, if you're not putting your head down and going to work, 2023 isn't going to be any different than 2021, right? Or 2022, right? And if you don't track and measure stuff that you do, right? If you don't have a follow-up plan, everybody that's successful in sales, Grant Cardone, Ray Higdon, anybody else that's a sales pro tells you that it takes 5 to 12 exposures for somebody to say yes. If you think that by reaching out to somebody saying, hey, look at my stuff, you send them a 10-minute video and they're going to sign up, maybe, right? But it's going to take more exposure than that. It's going to take you following up. It's going to take you getting on the phone. It's going to take you doing the Zoom. It's going to take you asking some questions. It's going to take you inviting them to a team call, right? And if you don't track where they are in that process, in the pipeline, right, you're not going to do that. So here's where the what I call my crazy Google Docs follow-up form works out. I'm going to share it with you really quick. If you like it, there should be a link somewhere in the description. If you're on Twitter, you may not have the link, so you have to shoot me a text and I'll get you the link. Go to the link, watch the video. The video explains exactly how to use the follow-up sheet. And then there's a form right underneath. I'll need your name and your Gmail address, right? And I'll make a copy for you, get it over to you, and go in and make and use it. The reason you want to watch the video, it's a YouTube video. So if you subscribe and like to my channel, that'd even be cooler. If you want to share it with some of your friends and your teammates so they can watch the video as well and get the download link too. Again, the link is right here in the description. You can copy and share that as well if you like. So 35 years of sobriety. Absolutely awesome. Let me do that. Let me show you this Google Sheets real quick so you see what you're going to get. Then I'll jump back over here and I'm going to get out so you guys can go do whatever you do on Wednesday. Share the screen like I always like to do. So this is the Google Sheets that you're going to get. It's designed to help you follow up. There's a contact date, the customer, prospect's name, phone number, email, the social media URL, the source. Where'd you find them? LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, the presentation tool. What kind of information did you share with them? Your follow-up dates and all the rest of this stuff it auto fills in. The video that's on the link that's in the page here shows you exactly how you can go in and edit all this stuff. And there's also, when you actually get this form, the video link is here as well. If you need to go back and watch it again, it's there. So if you'd like a copy of that, simply go to the link that's somewhere here in the description. If you don't see the link, let me know. I'll send it to you. Go watch the video, fill out the form below, it'll send me an email, and I'll do my best to get that out to you here in 24 to 48 hours. If you like, you can shoot me a text message below and say, hey, I filled out the form. Can you send it to me? I'll make you a copy and get it over to you. Go watch that video and check it out. So I'm going to do a stop screen share. It's absolutely cool. I use it. Last year, I did literally, like I said, right at 199 presentations in 2022. It's really helping me explode my business. I'm already knocking the month of January out of the park. So I've created a separate tab for 2023. So I'm gonna load that up and see if I'm gonna double that. I'm gonna see if I can double my presentations and get close to 400 presentations in the 2023 year. And the only way that we can do that, the only way that you and I can do that, is we got to reach out to a lot of people, knock on a lot of doors, either literally, text wise, virtually, inbox, and say, hey, do you want to look at my stuff? Right? And that's going to be the only way it's going to happen. If somebody says yes, then you've got to have a follow-up system. Part of that follow-up system is putting them on this crazy sheet so you know when to follow up, what process you are, what you said to them in the last conversation, so on and so forth, to work that out. So being sober, being clean and sober for 35 years isn't all like, oh my God, how did you do it? Well, sometimes it was 1 second at a time, right? Sometimes there's some crazy stuff. I remember about my 2.5 year period, when I was 2.5 years sober, I was ready to leave. I was done. Life just, God wasn't working the way I wanted him to work. Stuff wasn't going. Nobody was acting the way I wanted to. And I was ready to check out and leave, right? I actually thought for a minute, like, you know what? I think I'll just kill myself and get out of here. And that'll prove to everybody. And that lasted all for about 2.5 seconds. I'm like, dude, you don't chicken out like that. You don't punk out that way. I actually had to pull my head out. And of course, I called my sponsor, talked to him a little bit, and we had a conversation, and it moved on. And no matter what happened, right? No matter what happened, even if my ass fell off on some days, I picked it up, put it in a bag, and figured out a new way to sit, right? It was a matter of showing up regardless. The days that people weren't acting the way I wanted them to act, or I wasn't feeling the way I wanted to feel, or stuff wasn't going the way I wanted to go, I didn't drink irregardless, right? I didn't put myself in compromising positions. I think my first 90 days of sobriety, I went to like 140 meetings, right? Because it's in anything we do, whether we're being sober, right? Whether we're being sober or we're building a business, right? If we don't put our heads down and go to work, right? It's what do you really want in life, right? It's got to be bigger than where you're at right now, right? What do you really want in life has to be much bigger than where you're at right now. And sometimes what we want is just, hell, I just want to make enough money to pay my bills this month. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be like some big shining down from the heavens type kind of deal. I just don't want to drink today. I just don't want to drink right now, right? Sometimes that's where we're at. I just don't want to do a drug. I just don't want to gamble. Whatever your addiction is, right? Sometimes it's just that, right? It's just literally sitting on your hands and just like fighting through it until what happens is why do we want that, right? We want a better life. We're tired of just being in the gutter, right? Like mentally and physically and morally and spiritually, we're tired of being there, right? We're sitting in an AA meeting and we're 4.5 years sober and we're cussing at God, right? Like what? Yeah, right? Trying to blame him on all the stuff that I did, right? Most of my calamities in my life were direct. I ain't blaming on nobody else, giving nobody the credit except me, right? Every bad decision or every decision that I made that ended up poorly, right? Because I didn't know it was a bad decision. I didn't wake up and know, I'm going to make a bad decision today, and I'm going to just make a bunch of bad decisions. No, they were just decisions that didn't work out the way that I wanted them to or that I expected them to, right? And call them bad decision if you want. Let's have a bad decision journal. See, bad decision today, I'm going to stand out in traffic and try to catch bumpers. Nobody does that, right? Nobody gets in their car and says, I'm going to make a bad decision and go crash my car. Now, some people do some psychotic, crazy stuff. I don't know what kind of decision that is. That's just whatever. That's a cray-cray decision. But typically, when we're around people and we're going through life and we end up in a relationship with somebody and it ends up in divorce, we didn't plan that. We didn't say, I'm going to marry this dude or this dudette so we can have a horrible life together and cuss and yell and scream and hate each other and end up in divorce. We don't plan that. Right? That's not our plan. At least I hope not. If that's your plan, like maybe you need to unfriend me, right? We probably don't need to be on the same friends list, right? But in all reality, most of the time we make decisions and the outcomes don't end up the way we want. And then here's the hardest part. This is one of the things that I challenge you to do, right? Is if you're going through a bunch of beating yourself up, and I'm going to close with this. if you're going through a bunch of beating yourself up stuff about something that happened in your past, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a men's list, right? And this is one of the steps in AA. But you can do it with anything. I want you to make a list of everybody, right? Of everybody that you think you've had an issue with, that may have harmed you, that you may have caused some kind of harm. And I want you to make an agreement with yourself to forgive those people, right? It's a forgiveness list, right? I'm going to forgive these people. And it's hard. Some people have done some crappy stuff to you. And I'm challenging you to make a forgiveness list. Make yourself a forgiveness list, right? And go through that list the best you can. And here's the thing. Some of the people on that list, right? You may need to forgive in person, right? Some of the people on the list, you may just need to forgive mentally. You probably don't want to have their toxicness in your life. So you just forgive them, right? You write them on a list, you can burn it, tear it up, share it with somebody else, whatever, then burn it and light it on fire, whatever you need to do, right? Share it with your priest, your pastor, your mentor, whoever. Write it on a list and share it up, because some people you just don't need to go back and make amends to. You just need to like leave them over there. Just depends. You got to be careful with that, right? And then the very, very last person on the list needs to be you, right? You need to put yourself on the list and forgive yourself and be okay with that, and then let that go. And if you can do that, right? If you can forgive yourself, if you can let that go, trust me, the rest of your life is going to be so much more betterific. It's going to be freaking absolutely awesome, off the chain. So I love you. I appreciate you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and help you have an awesome 2023. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.